Inside Audition, the first thing we want to do is clean up all of our clips. To do this, we can double-click any one of our clips and open up the waveform. The first thing we'll start off with is normalizing our audio. To do this, we can just go to Favorites, Normalize to -3. Normalization is applying a constant gain to an audio file at a peak level that we choose. In this case, we chose -3. Next thing we want to do is try to remove as much background noise as possible. What you want to do is select your clip and Effects, Noise Reduction, and Noise Reduction Process. It asks us to capture a noise print. So the first thing we want to do is find an area that is just noise. If we zoom in close enough, we can see that we have just this little area that is noise. So we'll select that and do Capture Noise Print. Now that we have the noise print captured, we can select the entire audio clip and adjust our noise level.
When I have a project due,
It's easier to put it on output noise only and adjust your noise reduction. If you're hearing too much of the voice, that means the reduction is grabbing some of that voice and removing that too.
all these things around me start getting involved with the idea of the project and things start flowing.
Pulling out too much of the noise can cause your audio to get a underwatery, warbly sound to it. To prevent that, you just want to play through
Looking around
this
different ideas, sketching,
and adjust your noise reduction to a comfortable level. Once you've narrowed that down, you just press apply, and you can see that that really cleaned up our noise level.
I like doing research, looking around different ideas, sketching, and bringing down.
Once you've done this to all of your clips inside of a track, the next thing you may want to do is apply a compressor to that track. If we look under our effects rack, whatever track we have selected, we will have the effects rack open. Click on the little disclosure triangle and we will find a single band compressor. For this, we want to choose Voice Leveler.
A conversation with someone. Inspiration is everywhere. I don't know how, but all these things around me start getting involved with the idea of the project.
As you can see, bringing up the output gain to where we're at a consistent -6 really adds to the boost of this voiceover. Once we've gone through and cleaned up all of our sounds, now it's time to actually go through and work on the mix. So we will unsolo all of our clips and play through it.
Designed for me.
As you can tell right now, the music level is too high and overpowering the voice. We want to be able to pull the music volume down while retaining the level of the voice. In this area, we have Show Envelopes, and by default it's usually checked to volume. Under here you see that we have the ability to set keyframes. You can also click on the volume level to create a keyframe yourself. So we want the audio to drop down when the voice first comes in. We'll set a keyframe, move over a couple frames, set another keyframe, find where the audio starts to head out, set a keyframe, move a little further in, and set another keyframe. We'll start by pulling it down about 6 dB, see how that sounds.
Design for me is like a playground. There are many elements.
Still a little loud, so we probably want to go just a little bit lower. Maybe -12.
Design for me is like a playground. There are many elements to play with and have fun.
And as you can see, we now have a comfortable mix between that. Now we just want to go through and do the same thing to the rest of the areas. Add another keyframes. Again, we find that gap, set a keyframe on either side of the playhead, and bring these down to -12.
When I have a project due, first I start panicking. Smooth and solid animations.
This one's a little loose back here, so we just want to zoom in and move this keyframe down a little bit so the volume starts to raise up after her last words.
Things that helps creating smooth and solid animations.
You want to go through and continue to keyframe your music below all of your dialogue and voiceovers. Another good idea is in between each edit is to give a slight fade in and fade out. This will prevent any pops and clicks you might have created by the cut of your audio. Now, if going around and creating keyframes at every edit feels a little tedious to you, another option is to go into your mixer.
Spaces and apertures to explore.
With the mixer open, we can change from read to write. What this will allow us to do is to auto keyframe whenever we need to lower our volume or raise it. So I'll just slide this down a little bit, down to -21.
I have my knowledge and my skills to make something different and something that will take me out of my comfort
And as you can see right now, that's a fairly good level.
zone.
And as an example, when we bring this up,
I like to keep it open, flexible, so I can explore new things that I never imagined before.
you can see that created auto keyframes for us to go through and correct without having to go through and actually set up our own keyframes. Once we've completed our mix, now we need to get it back into our NLE. The quickest way to do this is to File, Export, Multi-Track Mixdown, and do the entire session. Our format should be an AIF. Our sample type should be same as source, which is 48K. Channels, we want to leave that the same. And our bit depth should be same as source, 32-bit. We don't have any markers and we don't need to open the files after export. We'll just save this to where we want, create a new folder, call it audio mix, or just mix, and save. You now have an AIF file ready to bring back into either Final Cut or Premiere. Simply open your NLE, import this in, duplicate your original sequence, and in the duplicate rip off any of the audio you might have and drop this down into your audio track. Play through, make sure it all lines up, and your audio mix is good to go.